Blessings to the world. I'm sitting here with Lady Justice, just having some fun. I'm gonna talk a bit about the Maha Mantra. This book here has nothing to do with it at all. It's just my coloring book or something where I made drawings. I'm just, you know, doing my enchanting and blessings kind of thingy. So, the Maha Mantra. Why do I want to talk about the Maha Mantra? I was looking about the Maha Mantra around in the internet. When I say the Maha Mantra, I mean the Hare Krishna mantra. Perhaps there are different mantras that speak about the Maha Mantra, but I speak about the Hare Krishna mantra, and that is the very common Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And well, well. I think life is quite a complicated little thing, so to say. To be aware that life is precious and worth living, and how to live life. I think it can be quite complicated, especially in this time that we are right now. It's quite confusing, and from my experience, there is such a thing as spiritual awakening, spiritual clarity, which helps you live life and be yourself. You could say that in simple terms: be yourself and make, so to say, the so-called right choices, whatever that means. I'm not saying putting any special value to it. I'm just saying there is such a thing that is the right action for you, no matter who you are, and living in your truth, so to say, is the meaning of your life. Yeah, that will bring you do so that you live in peace, love, and harmony, so to say. And I really believe that we're living in a very tough and hard reality where that can be quite complicated. There is a lot of suffering in the world, and if we're all sharing this suffering, so if you're sharing the suffering, if you're in tuned to the world, and so then you will inevitably suffer, even consciously or unconsciously. Even either you will go around and feeling like something is wrong, but you don't know what, or you look upon the suffering in the world and you say, okay, they suffer and I suffer and we suffer. Yep. Um, yeah. And so we're here to remove that suffering by becoming the best us that we can, and yeah, and live in that space of clarity. And that can be a very hard thing. And from my experience, it is a constant training of the mind and your psyche and your body, to learn um, how to be an effective and good human being. Um, you do this by some practical things, doing some putting up a practical way of living for yourself, and having a good attitude towards life. Um, uh, being able to appreciate situations even if they are not the most favorable, being able to roll with the punches, as they say. And yeah, this is what has helped me in my life, and I think that is a healthy attitude to be able to go with the flow. And yeah, even if you are in bad situations, maybe you're being badly treated or have other things around you. Maybe you don't have the your dream job, your dream income, or you have some sickness. Um, Most of the time, for a lot of people, it is like a lack of appreciation for what we already have. Mm, and that there is a lot of things to appreciate in our lives, and if we would appreciate that those things, life would, for the more part of it, be quite pleasant and feel good. Like I know a lot of people that have the comforts of life, of a roof over a head and clothes, and being able to eat properly and to go and train. I have some hobby and watch a movie every now and then, and still there's a feeling of lack or emptiness, or like they're missing life. And um, and it's a shame, because if we would really look upon these situations, I think that a quick review over our life, and with some simple comparison or simple situations, we would appreciate our lives better. For example, I had a friend, I think a guy I met and talked to. He had went to Iraq, I think, during in an area that had been uh, there had been war there, and he was going as a reporter or something, I think. Anyways, they saw some of the war, and he said that when he came back to the airport, he appreciated everything. Even looking at the floor of the airport here in Sweden at Arlanda, he was eating a piece of candy and just being so grateful. And it doesn't take long. Try and go out to the wilderness. Just if you have the chance, or if you want to test this, you could just go out to the woods today. Don't pack anything. Go out as you are. You will realize some things. You will appreciate shelter, comfort. You will appreciate having everything. After a couple hours, you will appreciate your refrigerator with the food that you have, the comfort of the heating, the comfort of your couch and your bed. Even if you don't have a good bed and you don't have a good couch, if you go without it for a couple of hours, you would most definitely appreciate it much more. Um, Try and be in a situation where you think that you might lose your family, or that they might get hurt, or that you will be alone for some time, and all of a sudden you will appreciate friends and family much more. I know that I myself have had many nightmares and been in situations where I was close to lose loved ones and have lost loved ones. And It doesn't take long before an ordinary, common, and quite bleak day becomes a day of appreciation. my dog almost drowned at two different occasions, and those days turned into quite the um, Thanksgiving days, so to say. I was very aware of what I had in my life, and that anything could happen. You could lose it in an instant. For example, if you don't like your work, imagine being fired today, and then some big bills comes your way, and so you don't have a job and you don't have any money anymore. That could happen quite easily. Or you get robbed, or you get hurt, or hit by a car, or someone you love get hit by a car. You know, it's easy to be bored in this world and feel quite bleak and nothing when disaster isn't knocking on your door. And I experienced this kind of bleakness or whatever it is. It can be bleakness, it can be lack of compassion, it can be um, all of these things are not inherent as in us as humans or due to that we are being drugged or any kind of other bullshit, but there is this kind of illusion going on in the world, you know, and we can train our compassion. And humans are normally good at having compassion with other humans. If you look at many commercials nowadays, when they speak about doing something or thinking about others, we're always talking about humans. It's always about the poor children of Africa or something like that. Um, but we do not feel as much with the world, the place where we live, and other living beings. We have a lack of compassion for other species, and a lack of a vision for for what life is about. Really, I feel. Um, I think that if our vision would be clear to who and what we are, we would have a clear vision to why we are here. We would have a clear vision to compassion, and in those three steps, we would have a better world for sure. Um, I don't know why we have struggled so much with the feeling for one another, with speaking for truth, which I think is a big thing. We normally talk about things that doesn't really touch the subject at heart of 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 what could heal us as a world. We normally talk about much other things and go around in circles. Um, and as soon as anything real comes up, we try to avoid it, or we try to sort of hug it out and be like, "Oh yeah, well, everyone for themselves, and you want to do that, that's good for you. But I'm thinking more in these kind of lines, and you do what you want to do, and I do what I want to do." Anyways, from my experience and what I've seen, there is a real thing in the world, such as an illusion. I wouldn't point towards anything in specific. Surely we can do things to awaken ourselves and our souls. Um, Contemplate life, for example, or to interact with humans, or to uh, live a good life and contemplate what life you have. Um, for sure, it doesn't have to be a grandiose thing going across the world to save the burning bushes of Australia. Um, Yes. And how does the Maha Mantra come into all of this? Well, personally, as I said, I feel there is kind of this. Have you ever had this feeling like, I don't know if I want to do this or that? You know it would be good for you, but you're not sure if you want to do it. Well, okay. So I believe the Maha Mantra helps us to awaken our spirit, helps us to focus, helps us to keep a positive mind process. It builds pathways for our thinking and for our feeling, and yeah, it heals us as individuals and as a collective. I wanted to do this video about the Maha Mantra, which is what it's really about, because I couldn't really find anything about it on the internet. I found some things, but not much. Um, so the Maha Mantra for me is a direct way to sort of focus your mind upon the absolute highest aspect you could of yourself. And I think there's a reason why old cultures focus on the divine feminine and the divine masculine. If you think about it, old cultures, they are not stupid, and they were not ignorant just because they had some ideas that we can't understand. For example, with the divine mother, divine father of creation, um, gods and goddesses, where does those ideas come from? And so the Maha Mantra is very special in that way that everything in the mantra is a direct link to the divine mother or divine father. Everything. So there's not one word that does not link directly. And that's very special because most mantras are like a thing like I bow to this and that, I bow to Shiva, the most praiseworthy, or I direct my consciousness towards this or that, and please help, and this and that. Um, so I find the Maha Mantra being very special, being that Hare, for example, from what I understand, is a direct link to the divine feminine, and Krishna being the avatar of God on earth, um, Rama being a divine avatar of God on earth also. So Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yeah, that was a bit about the Maha Mantra, and I will be posting much more about the Maha Mantra because I find that it's very much needed in these times. So many blessings. I hope you're doing well, and to all, be compassionate to all of the world and all of the beings of the world, and do your best. I'm sure it will all work out. Have faith, mm, have patience, and no matter what comes or what is, I'm sure everything will work out sooner or later. Even if it seems impossible, your situation, and even if you feel that you will not come to a solution, I'm sure there will be a solution, a very good one, and the one that you can be very happy with. I'm sure of it, in one way or another. This is the time of for that. I know it. Okay. God bless. Take care. Many, 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 many blessings to all of creation. Bye bye. Blessings. And bye bye and blessings.